Very good afternoon, friends. Again, a new day, a new time, and a new Friday, a weekend. And hopefully, you must have gone through your results bus by now. So you must have a kind of a questions. You must have a kind of an anxiety. Now, today here, we are through the run series. We are going to have the kind of a discussions on your personal development and how the things comes in. That what's today's topic is mental fitness matters. But before that, just I want to have a kind of an introduction on this, that I am welcoming you warm on this day, on this series by the Institute of Chartered Accountants Board of Studies Operations, where you are going to look into your own self, your excellence, your sight, and then your empower yourself to a greater heights. Now, this, as you know, we have a very iconic person, CA Dr. Rohit Rawati as our chairman, and who is working day and night for your empowerment. And he is committed to modernizing CA education so that innovative learnings method, global competitions, and things can be given to you through trainings, and which becomes you become a key force in redefining the Indian economy as well as the global economy. And then supported by him is our the vice chairman CA Sanjeev Sanghi, who is also a very renowned chartered accountant and expert in, has a very great ideas on technologies and advancements in the CA profession. He has led very impactful initiatives for the students, for the members, and is a very far thinker, where whether he wants on global issues or on a policy making or a decision making. So, we, on behalf of both of them in absentia, I welcome you all to this session. Now, before going to the thing, the person who's going to take you through this part, let me have his voice. His CA Selvin Philip Koshi. He's again a renowned professional chartered accountant, and has an real exposure to his companies, to export oriented companies, and also has an international exposure. So he can very well set you things since through his own days of started accountancy and how he used to have his own mental fitness. So today's topic, mental fitness matters, simple habits for a strong mind, is his fete. In addition to his core accounting, he has specialization in quality and food seamlessly, and has been associated with ICF for more than decade. And he has been taking care of orientation when students are enter the profession of a CA. So having successfully conducted over 100 batches, inspiring and mentoring generation of CA, let's give him a warm welcome to CA Selvin Phillips Coffee. So, Mr. CA Philip Koshi will take you through this mental fitness matters in due course of time. If you have any queries, if you have any questions, please do put it in our chat box so that we can, at the end of a session, we can put it across our speaker and get his wisdom on it. So, welcome, sir, and over to you for your session, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. I hope I'm audible.
Audible, sir.
Wonderful. And just give me a minute. Let me just, yeah. Right. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here today. Now, let me start with a very simple question. How many of you woke up today morning and did some sort of physical exercise today? I think very few. I think the problem with chartered accountants is we don't do any physical exercise. Worse than that is we don't do any sort of mental exercise. We do nothing to empower our minds. And that is the reason the Institute has deemed it fit to have this sort of a program where we become aware of mental fitness. Now, my name is C.A. Selvin Philip Koshi, and I'm not here as someone who has it all figured out. I'm here as someone who has been in your shoes, who's gone through the same levels of anxiety that you have. I'm here as someone who's just going to guide you and show you where our shortcomings lie and what we can do to get out of that. Let's make mental fitness not a luxury, let's make it a necessity. Okay, now you know what's interesting. We live in a world where we'll spend tons of time, tons of money on finding the perfect car, finding the perfect clothes. We'll do tracking of our steps. We'll do calorie counts, but we'll do nothing We do absolutely nothing to increase our mental fitness. And that's just a terrible scenario. What are we doing to keep our minds strong? What are we doing to keep our minds flexible? And what are we doing to keep our minds resilient? Absolutely nothing. And that is why this concept of sab kuch chalta hai stops today. The sab kuch chalta hai nahi chalega bhi. We need to focus on mental fitness. It's not an abstract concept. It's not something that only other people need to be worried about. Mental fitness isn't about just avoiding stress or anxiety. It's about developing a strong and balanced and positive mindset so that we can face life's challenges with confidence. It's a practical daily practice that each and every one of us needs desperately in our lives. Now, what is mental fitness? It's the ability to stay calm, focused, and positive under stress. It's like physical fitness, but for your mind. Now, you see, your mind is the most powerful tool you'll ever own. It determines how you see the world, how you handle challenges, and how you build relationships, and ultimately, how you live your life. And just like your body, it needs training, it needs care, and it needs attention. As the philosopher Marcus Aurelius has said, you have power over your mind, not on outside events. Remember this, you have power over your mind only, not on outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. And that, my friends, is exactly what mental fitness is about. Building the power to stay calm, focused, and strong, no matter what happens around us. Now, why does mental fitness matter? Let me paint a picture for you. Imagine you're driving a car, a fancy car. For me, the fanciest car I can think of is a Rolls Royce. Okay, so imagine you're driving your Rolls Royce, but you never take the car for testing the tire pressure. You never take the car for its maintenance. You never even change the oil. No maintenance, nothing. You just keep driving it. Petrol dalte ho, chalate ho. What is going to happen? Eventually, the car will break down. And when it does, it's not just inconvenient, it's expensive. 5,000 ka maintenance ke bajay, you're going to spend 20-30 lakhs on repairing the car. Same way, when you drive a car which has not been maintained, it's absolutely dangerous because it can catch fire. And it takes a long time to fix. Your mind works in the same way. Learn and accept the simple truth. Your mind is your greatest asset. No matter where you study, what you plan to do in life, or what grades you get, it's your mindset that will ultimately decide how far you go. Just think about it. The same exam that makes some people struggle, the same exam lets other people thrive. You think it's because they're more intelligent? Absolutely not. I think it's only because of mental fitness. Now, let me give you a personal example. May 2005 CA final accounts examination. If you ever get the chance to go through that exam paper, please do. We received the exam paper, question number 1. The question went on for 3 pages. I still remember looking at that question and thinking, ye attempt bhi gaya, haath se. After 4 months of studying, that was the only thing that came to my mind. Ye attempt bhi gaya. I saw people around me after the mandated 15 minutes. Many people got up and walked out of the exam hall. But I had spent 4 months preparing for this exam. I had completed my group 2. I had only group 1 pending. And I was determined. I knew I had to somehow find the courage. So after 20 minutes of just sitting idle and being in shock, I finally took up that paper, ignored question 1, went to question 2. Question 2 onwards, the questions were fairly simple. They were fairly straightforward. So what I did, I regained my composure, started writing from question 2 onwards. I looked at my exam and thought, okay, question number 1 is about 20 marks. I have 80 marks balance. उस 80 marks में से कैसे 40 marks निकालना है? 50 was out of the question. I just needed 40. I just wanted to somehow pass. I thought somehow we'll figure out how to do it in MAFA or in law or in auditing. After 2 hours of writing the exam, I was confident that I had passed the exam. I had absolute confidence. 40, I would have got easily 45 marks. I was sure after 2 hours. Now, with this confidence, I went back and looked at question number 1. Suddenly, what seemed like a daunting question in the beginning became a fairly simpler question. Not simple, it was a fairly simpler question. I think that was the first time I was seeing in a CA exam an analysis of a question using accounting standards. It just happened to be an analysis of various accounting standards. With the confidence I had in me that ठीक है pass हो गया, उस confidence के साथ when I started writing the exam, that question number 1 became simple. I attempted it and I managed to clear that exam. So ladies and gentlemen, what I'm trying to tell you is in any given circumstance, all you need is that one spark of courage. That one spark of courage to take you out of a challenging situation. And that can happen only if your mind is fit. If your mind is unfit, even small problems seem like unsurmountable mountains. Now, let me share a statistic with you. According to the National Alliance on Medical Illnesses, world over, 1 in 5 students struggles with mental health issues. 1 in 5. I've been informed that roughly about 300 students are going to be joining this course online. That's 60 of you are having some sort of mental illness. Now, it need not, you might not know it, but there might be traces of anxiety or depression that have just started taking their root in your body, in your mind. You might not know it, but it's there. And the faster you get to it, the faster your recovery from that will be. The sadder question, the sadder thing in this is, out of this 1/5, 1 in 5, world over, roughly about 40% only seek help. In India, that number is below 10%. Less than 10% of the people with mental illnesses seek help. And that's because we have this culture that asking for help means weakness. If I ask for help, it means I'm not strong enough. And in India, the male is supposed to be an alpha male. He should not be weak under any circumstance. And that sort of a rotten thinking is what's leading many people to depression and other mental problems. But let me tell you one thing. The people who seek help are the strongest people. Steve Jobs sought help when he left Apple for the first time. And he took help. He got his life back on track. And he came back to Apple. And he came with the iPhone and etc. And then the story is only greatness. Think about your own life for a moment. When was the last time you truly felt overwhelmed? When was the last time stress kept you up all night? When was the last time you had an anxiety attack? For most of us, it's recently. For some of you, it may be even today. For some of you, maybe a few hours back. And that's not because you're broken or you're weak. It's because you're human. In today's world with social media, academic pressure, social expectations, and an uncertain future, being human is difficult. And it's absolutely normal to feel these things. Please, I want each of you to accept that feeling anxious is normal. It's part of being human being. The father of our nation, Mahatma Gandhi, very rightly said, strength does not come from physical capacity. It comes from an indomitable will. That's what mental fitness is all about. It's about finding that will to face challenges, the courage to be vulnerable, the confidence to know that you can handle whatever comes your way. Look at Mahatma Gandhi himself. A scrawny little man with a walking stick brought the mighty British Empire down to its knees without violence. That will, you need to find that sort of will in you. That's what I'm hoping to do through the day. Now, mentally fit doesn't mean that you won't be anxious. Being mentally fit means you have the courage to face these challenges and be vulnerable. Every time you practice things like focus, kindness, actually training your brain, just like lifting weights builds muscles. As Robin Sharma puts it, your mind is a magnificent servant, but a terrible master. If you don't train it, our thoughts will control us. But if we can somehow control our mind, we can control everything. And that changes everything. Your outlook on life will just become positive. And our goal today is to learn how to build that will one habit at a time. Now, there are 4 pillars of mental fitness: awareness, resilience, routine, and relationships. We'll go through each of these separately. Awareness means being the power of being present, not lost in yesterday's mistakes or tomorrow's worries, but living here and now. Most of our stress doesn't come from what's happening around us. It comes from what happened yesterday and what's going to happen tomorrow. We replay old conversations in our minds. We imagine future failures. And sometimes we forget to live in the present. As His Holiness Gautama Buddha has said, the mind is everything. What you think, you become. If we constantly fill our mind with worries, that's what we will become, worryful. But if you fill your mind with calm and clarity, you will be a calm and clear person. Your mind is everything. What you think, you become. A simple way to build awareness is through mindfulness. Just taking a few minutes every day to pause, breathe, and notice your thoughts without judgment. The second pillar is resilience, the art of bouncing back. Let's be honest, life isn't always smooth. You will face disappointments, rejections, failures. But these moments are not signs of weaknesses. They are opportunities for growth. I like to remember what Nelson Mandela said. Do not judge me by my success. Judge me by how many times I fell down and got up. Resilience doesn't mean pretending that you're fine when you're not. It means acknowledging the pain, learning from it, and choosing to keep going on. Think of an athlete like Michael Jordan. Now, Michael Jordan, you had to believe that Michael Jordan was at one point rejected from his basketball team. But he didn't let that rejection bog him down. He used that rejection to keep practicing harder and harder, and ultimately became the greatest basketball player ever to have lived. Same way, you've heard of a basketball player called Kobe Bryant. Now, Kobe Bryant, the first year that he was playing, he was the most valuable player of that season. And in the game, the final game, he had 3 opportunities to shoot the winning basket. he failed all three. And at the end of the game, he sat on the sidelines with a towel over his head and hands on his head. And people thought, oh my God, Kobe is having a nervous breakdown. Kobe is gone. Kobe ka khatam ho gaya. Finally, he got up and people asked him, Kobe, are you okay? He said, I'm perfectly fine. Aren't you upset that you lost the game? I am upset, no doubt. So what were you doing? I was replaying each of those moments. I was replaying each of those moments and analyzing what I should have done differently. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the absolute way to go forward. That makes you a winner. And that is what resilience is. Consider somebody like J.K. Rowling. She was rejected by 12 publishers before she published Harry Potter. Imagine if she had stopped after 7 or 8 failures. We wouldn't have been able to experience this wonderful world of Hogwarts. In a CA student's life, resilience means studying again and again after losing an attempt, especially after losing an attempt for lack of aggregate. Can you imagine? People will always ask you, fail hua kya? Fail nahi hua. Pass hua? Pass bhi nahi hua. How do you convince these people who don't know anything about CA? How do you explain this concept of aggregate? It's very difficult. And for students who've lost marks, who've lost an attempt because of aggregate, to come back and rewrite the exam, that is a standing example of resilience. Every time you come back, you become mentally strong. As the Japanese proverb, fall 7 times, stand up 8. Never lay down. Always stand up. Pillar number 3 is routine, building strengths through habits. Your daily habits shape your mental energy more than you realize. Just as physical muscles need regular exercise, your mind needs structure and rest to stay strong. Start with small, consistent habits. Sleep at the same time every night. Take break between studies. Spend 20 minutes outdoor daily. Limit your scrolling of social media. Remember, the great Aristotle very rightly said, we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence then is not an act, it's a habit. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence then is not an act, it's a habit. Do things consistently. Do things consistently, and then excellence becomes a habit. When you organize your routine, balancing study, rest, movement, and reflection, your mind becomes calmer and clearer. Even a 5-minute morning routine of gratitude, stretching, or deep breathing can set the tone for the entire day. The last pillar is relationships, the support system of a strong mind. The people we surround ourselves with and the connections that we make keep us grounded. We often think that mental strength means handling everything alone. But true strength is not isolation, it's connection. We are social beings. Our minds need friendships, empathy, and love to stay healthy. When you share your struggles or talk about your feelings, you don't become weaker, we just become lighter. As Helen Keller beautifully said, walking with a friend in the dark is better than walking alone in the light. Positive relationships act like anchors during rough seas. It keeps us grounded. It doesn't let us falter. When stress rises, a simple chat with a friend or a mentor or a parent can shift your perspective and remind you that you are not alone. Also, remember that just as others can influence you, you also can influence others. Be kind, be encouraging, be the reason that someone else feels strong today. There is a famous saying, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. In mental fitness, we go further together. Now, let's get practical. I'm going to share with you 6 habits that you need to start inculcating in your daily lives. These 6 habits are not complicated. They don't cost you any money. They don't require any special equipment. They just require consistency and commitment. Consistency and commitment. And finally, the belief that you are worth it. When you start believing in consistency and committing to these things, and you believe that you are worth it, you yourselves will find the time to put in an effort to adopt these habits. Habit number 1, getting a good night's sleep. A good night's sleep is one of the most underrated habits. A good night's sleep is essential for the human body. We think we can survive on 3 or 4 hours of sleep, but we cannot sustain that pace. The body needs to rejuvenate, and the hours we sleep are vital for this process. Many ailments get healed with proper rest. Our body functions like digestion, blood purification, all need a certain amount of downtime. And that will not happen if we do not get sleep. Now, let me give you an example of my CA days. I was doing my final coaching in Chennai. And we used to get up in the morning. Morning classes would start at 6:15. So to reach the venue for a class that starts at 6:15, we had to get up at 4:30. Get ready, leave the hostel by around 5 to reach the venue by 5:30 or 5:45, because in those days there was no projector or big screens. Everything was written on the blackboard or whiteboard. You had to be in the front few seats to see what the professor was writing. Keeping that in mind, for a 6:15 class, we are reaching the venue at 5:30 or 5:45. We had similar classes through the day. All 8 subjects we would cover, and our last class would get over at 8 p.m. So you're starting the day at 4, going on till 8 p.m. At 8 p.m., you finally come, take a shower, at least glance through what you have done. Anyway, we looked at it, we could not sleep before 11:30, 12. So it meant we were getting only 4 hours sleep. 1 month, 1.5 months, we were managing, no problem. But in the second month onwards, we started seeing that the morning classes, even though we were getting there early and we were sitting in the front, we were unable to keep our eyes open. At some point, this lack of sleep will catch up with you. Please, please, please do not take this sleep for granted. You need to get at least 7 to 8 hours of sleep. It is absolutely vital for you. Same way, whatever you're studying, it needs to sink into your hard drive. That needs rest. Whatever you have studied, your 8 or 10 hours of studying, whatever you have done, it needs to be absorbed by the hard drive. After that, it needs a certain amount of rest. Please, I recommend, as I said earlier, 7 to 8 hours of sleep. And when you go to sleep, it means full sleep, proper sleep, not lying in bed and looking at Facebook and Instagram. No, it means shutting your eyes, laying and going to sleep. 8 hours of absolute rest. Joseph Kosman has beautifully put the best bridge between despair and hope is a good night's sleep. Despair, hope, the best bridge between them is a good night's sleep. And I hope you accept this. And I hope to see you all starting to take this seriously, a good night's sleep is absolutely essential for you. The second habit that I want to share with you is to start your day right. Now, in the past, let me tell you about my day, how my day used to start in the past, 5 years back. My alarm would ring. I'll hit the snooze button. I'll hit the snooze button 2-3 times. And then finally, I'll take the phone, start looking at social media, start looking at my emails, start looking at my news feeds. Before getting out of the bed, I was filling my head with other people's problems, other people's opinions, and other people's lives. And then during the day, I would wonder, why am I so anxious? I don't have time for myself. I was filling my mind with other people's problems. So now what I do, and I hope you will also start, when you get up in the morning, start with gratitude. Start your day with gratitude. You can be grateful for anything. You can be grateful for a roof over your head. You can be grateful for a comfortable bed. You can be grateful for wonderful parents. You can be grateful for wonderful teachers. You can be grateful for a wonderful girlfriend or boyfriend. You can be grateful for anything. Take 2 to 5 minutes to be grateful. You can put it as a prayer. I do it as a prayer. I do it as a prayer. I thank God for all the blessings that He has given. Do it as a prayer. Have your connect with God. So that is the first thing I want you to do. Start your day with gratitude. The second thing I want you to do is to set 2 tasks that have to be achieved every day. Set 2 tasks to be achieved every day, one of which is setting your bed. So the minute you get up, set your bed. You'll say, "Usme kya hai, sahab?" Usme hai. The minute you get up and you set your bed, you become an achiever. It is a target that you have set for yourself and you have achieved it. So 50% of what you have set for yourself, you have achieved. So then things become, everything becomes positive for you. Everything then becomes positive for you. There is nothing you from a struggler, you become an achiever. The mindset of a struggler and the mindset of an achiever are totally different. Okay, so that is one goal. The second goal can be anything. You want to finish 1 chapter of accountancy and 1 chapter of company law. Let's become more specific. I want to complete amalgamations in accountancy, and I want to complete appointment of directors in company law. Okay. You've studied SMART goals. When you set goals, the goals should be SMART: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. So your first goal, set the bed. Okay, it's all done. Now the second goal that you have set for yourself is complete 1 chapter in accounts and 1 chapter in company law. Now let's evaluate whether this goal is a SMART goal. Is it specific? Absolutely. You want to do amalgamation and appointment of company secretary. Is it measurable? Yes, it is measurable. Is it achievable? Now that is a question you have to ask yourself. Will I be able to complete both? Maybe not. Okay, so let's do one thing. Let's remove company law today. Let's finish amalgamation. So your targets have been revised and they become achievable. Are they relevant? They are relevant because your exam is coming up. This goal is absolutely relevant for you. And is it time bound? Yes, it has to be done before the end of the day. You have set yourself a SMART goal. Work to achieve it. Once you have achieved it, that day you have become an achiever. You have become positive. All right. The third thing that I want you to do for your day is the first keep your phone away. Keep your phone away. It's not easy, I know. It's very difficult. But once you start enjoying that peaceful time, you won't want to take your phone. Remember, the phone is nothing but algorithms. I'll give you another example. Mark Zuckerberg doesn't allow his children to use smartphones or get onto Facebook or Instagram. Okay. Mark Zuckerberg is the fellow who made Facebook and Instagram. He is not letting his own children do it. There has to be something behind that. Now, when I give this example, I automatically go back to the COVID days. During COVID, we came out with 2 vaccines. You remember, there was Covishield, which was developed by Serum Institute, and there was Covaxin, which was developed by an Indian company. Now, Covishield came out. We all ran hoping to get Covishield injection. But the Prime Minister of the country waited for Covaxin to come. I also waited for Covaxin. Because if Narendra Modi is doing it, he's done some research. Using that logic, I also waited for Covaxin and only took Covaxin to vaccinate myself. Same way, when I tell you no phone, you should not feel offended. If Mark Zuckerberg is not giving it to his children, isme kuch khatra hai. Accept that. There is some problem in it. Okay. So please keep the phone aside. Utilize that 30 minutes for yourselves. This is your time. Okay. Now, Rumi has said very beautifully, the morning breeze has secrets to tell you. Do not go back to sleep. The morning breeze has secrets to tell you. Do not go back to sleep. And when it says do not go back to sleep, I mean even drowning yourself in social media, because your mind then becomes numb. It's as good as sleeping. Okay. The next habit is to move your body daily. 20 minutes minimum. Do walking, cycling, swimming, anything. Just move your body for 20 minutes. What happens when you move your body is your body tends to start releasing endorphins, the feel-good chemicals. 20 minutes of movement has been proven to reduce stress by 40 to 60%. That's more than any medication available today. 40 to 60% reduction. Then why are we not doing it? Especially chartered accountants, we live our lives totally seated. We don't do anything. Start moving, walk. In fact, if you see today, I'm actually standing and giving this presentation because I don't want to sit. Even in office, I try and stand and sit. I've been trying to convince myself to get a standing table, but that's too much of a... I'm taking that slowly. Okay. There are people who don't like doing walking, cycling, or anything. I have a friend. She loves dancing. So she's made dancing her routine. For 20 to 30 minutes a day, she does Zumba dancing, she does ballroom dancing, everything. And what she has told me is, Selvin, while I'm dancing away my stress. Ladies and gentlemen, that's exactly what you're doing. The endorphins are eating into your stress. They are removing stress from your body. So please, please give yourselves that push to move for at least 20 minutes. You'll thank yourselves. You'll thank yourselves in the future. Now, Hippocrates, the father of modern medicine, way back 2000 years back, he has very rightly said, walking is man's best medicine. You're feeling worn out, you're feeling tired. Put on your shoes and just go for a walk. You'll see your mind clearing out. Okay. So please move your body daily. Now, the fourth habit is connecting with others. This is the most important habit that you can have. You need to connect with others. Connect real connections, not thumbs up, like, follow. No, those are not real connections. Real human connections. Now, here's a painful truth. We are living in the most connected generation in history. We are living in the most connected generation in history. And yet, we experience record levels of loneliness. We have thousands of online friends, but nobody to call when we are struggling. We share our lives on social media, but hide our real feelings. And it's killing us. A study from Brigham Young University has found that loneliness is as harmful to your body as smoking 15 cigarettes daily. Loneliness is equivalent to smoking 15 cigarettes daily. Loneliness damages not just your mind, but your body as well. So when you open up, you need to start opening up. Have strong social connections. It improves your life expectancy by at least 50%. In fact, today in the morning, we had a get together of our old friends in school. I went for that. 3 of my friends had come in from Bombay and Bangalore. And the minute we got together, we became the old 17-year-old, 16-year-old, 17-year-old. We went back to that time. We were laughing at the silliest things. We were joking. We were laughing. We were just having fun. We forgot all our worries for about half an hour, 45 minutes. And that just boosts your immune system. It makes you happier. It makes you healthier. And it makes you more resilient. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to start having a meaningful conversation every day. Not a, hey, what's up? All good, okay, bye. No, that's not a conversation. That's a transaction. I really want you to talk to someone. Ask them how they are actually doing. Tell them how you're actually doing. Be vulnerable. Be real. And here's the hard part. When you're opening up to somebody, please keep your phones away. When you're having a meal with someone, please do not scroll on Instagram. When you're talking to someone, do not send a text. Give your full attention to them. Let me tell you about a friend. He was studying in Mumbai. From Kerala, he was studying in Mumbai. And he was going through a very bad phase of his life. His parents were on the verge of divorce. He was struggling academically. He was questioning whether this is the field he wants to adopt for himself. He was an absolute mess. And he had friends in school, in the college, but he was unable to talk to them. One day, in his hostel, he managed to muster up the courage to speak to his roommate of almost 8 months. This guy was his roommate for 8 months, a guy from Haryana. He mustered up the courage to speak to his roommate and opened up to him. And you know what that roommate said? The roommate said, "Bhai, all this while I thought I was alone struggling. I didn't know you were also struggling." And that's what opening up does. It gives the others permission to open up as well. So when you open up, you give others the permission to open up as well. These two were both alone. They were both struggling alone. But once they opened up to each other, they had each other to fall back on. And suddenly, they realized they were not alone. They had at least this one person who understood what they were going through. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the power of connection. When you open up, you give the others permission to open up as well. When you share your struggles, you help others feel less alone with theirs. Habit number 5 is practicing mindfulness. Now, when I say mindfulness, I'm not talking about becoming a Buddhist monk or sitting cross-legged for hours. I'm talking about being present, being aware, paying attention to this particular moment right now instead of worrying about yesterday or stressing about tomorrow. Focusing on the present, the right now. Now, let me give you an example. Your mind is like a browser. Okay. Now you have this habit of opening multiple browsers. So just imagine your mind is like a browser with about 40 or 50 browsers, 40 or 50 tabs open. One tab is thinking about the next CA exam. Another is replaying that awkward moment, that awkward conversation you had with your boyfriend or girlfriend. Another is worrying about finance. Another is comparing yourself with something else. And somewhere in the middle of all of these tabs, there is one tab that's supposed to be focusing on what you're actually doing right now. Does that sound familiar to you? So let us assume you have various tabs open. इन सबके बीच में एक टैब है अगला एग्जाम के बारे में या आज का जो पढ़ाई करना है उसके बारे में. When you let all these other tabs overshadow what you have to do today, you will never achieve anything. Mindfulness is about closing all these other tabs and focusing on just one thing, the right now. Now, unlike a computer, you don't have the option of going into your mind and clicking X. No, it doesn't work like that, unfortunately. Okay, so what can we do for that? How do we close all these unnecessary tabs that are open in our mind and focus on just the right now? For that, I'm going to give you an exercise. We can start trying that right now. I want you all to just sit comfortably and take in a deep breath. For 4 counts, take in a deep breath. So as you're breathing in, mentally count 1, 2, 3, 4. After you've taken in your breath, take in the breath through your nose. Hold it for 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. And exhale from your mouth for 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause for 4 seconds. Repeat this. So, keep repeating this for at least 5 to 10 minutes. And suddenly you will see that you're actually resetting your mind. You're rewiring your mind. You're able to remove all the other things from focus. Now, while you're doing this breathing exercise, your mind might waver. Your mind might waver. Bring back your mind to the count. Get your mind to focus on the counting, and suddenly everything else will become blank. It will take time. It's not something that will happen overnight. But the faster, the stronger your mind becomes, the more focused your mind will be on just that breathing. Keep practicing it. Keep doing it every day. And you'll suddenly realize that these 5 or 10 minutes are vital for your existence. You will start enjoying these 5 or 10 minutes. You'll want these 5 or 10 minutes every day, maybe twice a day, to help you just cope with things. Okay, you'll still be stressed. Please remember that. You will still be stressed, but you will feel like you can handle it. So stop living in the past. Stop worrying about the future. This is your moment. Make it count. The last habit I want to talk to you about is feed your mind. Be conscious about what you feed your mind. You are what your mind consumes. The average person spends roughly about 3 hours a day on social media. That's roughly about 21 hours a week or 1,100 hours per year. Now, 1,100 hours per year is enough time to learn a new language or to read 50 books. Instead of that, you are just filling yourself, you're scrolling, comparing, consuming content that makes you feel inadequate, anxious, and disconnected. Now, I'm not asking you to delete all your social media. I know that's very difficult for many of you. What I am asking you to do is restrict it. Bring it down to, say, 1 hour. Have your phones, install the screen app, the screen time app. Don't set the password. Ask your parents or somebody else to set the password, so that after 1 hour, the screen locks. And suddenly you will start finding time for yourselves. The Dalai Lama has said, do not let the behavior of others destroy your inner peace. That's what happens in social media. You look at somebody, you're studying for your CA exam. Somebody you studied with 2 years back has now got a job in Goldman Sachs and he's partying somewhere in Bali. It's not something that is very pleasant for you. You're happy for him, of course. Biting your teeth, you're happy for him. But it's something that destroys your inner peace. Get rid of it. Remove, unfollow anything that brings you unhappiness. Be conscious about what you're consuming. Follow people who are giving you positive vibes. So set your, remove unnecessary, remove toxic things from your laptops, from your social media. Be focused on positive things. The second thing I want you to do is read something for 20 minutes. Now, this reading is not your textbooks. It's fiction, non-fiction, magazines, anything for 20 minutes. Reading improves focus, reduces stress, and increases empathy. And the third thing I want you to do is learn something new every week. It can be watching a TED Talk, listening to a podcast, taking an online course. Just keep your mind growing. The reason I'm telling you this is we are in the world of AI today. The role of a chartered accountant is changing daily. I want you to be mentally prepared for the changes that are coming your way. The Institute is doing a fabulous job in controlling, in updating the modules as often as possible, but it's not possible for them to constantly update at the pace at which technology is moving. So I want you to make that effort. You have time. You've reduced social media time. You have 1,100 hours. उसमें से आधा 1/3 ले लो, 300 घंटे निकाल दो, फिर भी you have 700 hours available to you. Use that time to develop yourselves. Okay. Be selective about what you consume. Anybody who makes you upset, please remove them. Remember, you're the average of 5 people you interact with. Your mind is the average of the 5 accounts it follows. Follow positive things, your mind will be positive. Okay. That's it about the 5 habits. Getting a good night. Waking up right. All of these things that I've discussed with you, please follow. Move daily. Improve your relationships. Be mindful and feed your mind properly. And I promise you, your mind will get stronger. All right. Now, there are some common myths related to mental fitness that I want to dispel. Myth number 1 is mental health issues mean you are weak. Today, anxiety and depression are as common as asthma or diabetes. Do you tell somebody with asthma that they are weak? Or do you tell somebody with diabetes that they are weak? You know, the great cricketer Wasim Akram, he used to play with diabetes. Did it make him any weaker? He was the most lethal bowler. So mental health issues do not mean that you are weak. Okay. The second myth is that I can handle everything on my own. I'd like to believe you can, but realistically, you cannot. Please seek help. Please seek help. You can, you will do wonders when you seek help. And the third mental fitness thing is that mental fitness takes much time. We've talked about sleeping for 8 hours. Apart from that, the 5 other things that I've mentioned do not take more than 1.5 hours. You've still got time. You cannot study for more than 10 hours. You sleep for 8 hours, so it's 18 hours. 1 hour for social media, 19 hours, you've still got a lot of time. Don't think you don't have time. You've got plenty of time. If you believe you can improve your mental fitness, you will. If you believe you can't, you won't. The choice is yours. Now, building your plan. I don't want a situation where in every new year we say we're going to start going to the gym. You'll go to the gym for 3 days, and after that you'll stop. I don't want that. For your mental fitness plan, I want you to. Sleeping, of course, you start from today. 8 ghanta sona hai. The next thing, pick one that you feel comfortable with. The easiest I feel is getting up every day and saying thank you. Start with one. Commit for 21 days. Do that for 21 days because you need 21 days to form a habit. During this time, nothing should make you deviate from that. That consistency should be there. Every morning you get up, for 21 days, you will keep thank God for whatever He has given you. And suddenly you will see that on the 22nd or 23rd day, you will get up automatically and it will come to you naturally. It becomes a habit. Once that has happened, take the next thing, setting your bed. Make a long-term commitment to this. That I am going to try, I am going to start. And I assure you, you will see wonders. Now, you might miss a day. Don't be too hard on yourself. You are human. These things can happen. Now, after 21 days, add the next one. After the next 21 days, add the next one. Keep adding until you have all of these things, and you'll see your mind is so fresh, your mind is so strong. You'll be able to face challenges like no one's business. Take the wonderful quotation from Confucius. It does not matter how slowly you go, as long as you don't stop. Don't stop. You have to be consistent. There is nothing, there is no alternative for consistency. Okay, now there is a mental support. There is a Telemanas is a 24/7 mental health support program. This is for cases where people feel they're already too anxious and they are unable to get a grip on themselves. Okay, you can call this number. It's 14416 or 1-800-89-14416. You don't have to face this alone. Help is available. You deserve support. I applaud the Institute for having taken this initiative to start to address mental fitness. I would only request them to take it one step further. Have a mental support telephone number where chartered accountants, members in practice, or just students can speak to someone who understands the CA's language. See, talking to a general person and talking to somebody, अपने ही बिरादरी का आदमी से बात करने में बहुत फर्क आता है. To speak to somebody who is from your own, it makes a huge difference. And I request the Institute to please consider this. You've started accepting it, that mental fitness is important. Please go a step further, set up a helpline. I'm sure many people will benefit from that. Now,
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Sir, it's already the same, and we have some questions too for you to answer.
sure.
First of all, students, thanks. I think the inspiring optimism the sir has given you must be a very conducive for you to adapt and to bring a change in yourself. See, when you bring a change, it will make you more stronger and more competitive in the world where the technology and all things are coming up very fast. And this will help you to make you a visionary leaders, not in the field of your profession, but in your life, in your personal life, in your administrations, and obviously in moving forward. So, keeping with the spirit and obviously the interest of the students, sir, there are three, four, five questions which students are not need to. They have asked. How
Sure.
do you usually respond to stress, and what could be a healthier alternative?
Come again, sir.
It is, sir. How do we usually respond to stress, and
Okay.
what could be a healthier alternative?
See, there is no one predefined answer for that.
Okay.
Each person deals with stress in their own particular ways. Now, for me, whatever happens, the first thing I do is I just pause, take a breath, take a deep breath, try and analyze the various, what are the problems? What is the problem on hand? What are the possible outcomes of every solution that I take? And I select the best one. That is my way of doing it. But each person, to each person his own. That is, there is no predefined solution. Each person has to develop their own way of handling stress.
Okay. The other question is very interesting, and I would. How can gratitude or journaling help in building a positive mindset?
I'll tell you. Okay. Now, when you express gratitude, you accept that this is what I have been given, and I've been given this. So maybe I don't have as much money as Mukesh Ambani, but I have a happy family. I am grateful for that. I have healthy children. I am grateful for that. So if I keep thinking, "Arey, mere paas Ambani ke jaisa paisa nahi hai," I'll always be in depression. But when I reverse that and I say, I'm grateful for a good family, I'm grateful for healthy children, I'm grateful for all the things that I have, suddenly paisa becomes secondary only. My gratitude takes center stage. And that helps you, that will make your mind absolutely positive.
Sir, very relevant question. Why is it important for a CA students to treat mental fitness as seriously as academic preparation?
CA students are among the highest, among the. I think if you look at it, we saw the people committing suicide in Kota. We don't have a figure of how many people have committed suicide in CA, because there is no regulation. We are all studying independently. There are so many people who go through so much of depression, losing a group for maybe 1 or 2 marks. I went through a similar stage in my life. I lost on 2 attempts. I lost my group for 2 marks, and then I took a 1.5 break from CA. 1.5 full years I was away from CA, and then I came back with rigor, with new Josh, and I tackled CA. If I was in a position where I was unable to do anything else, thankfully my family was supporting me. If my family had not supported me at that time, the option for me could have been very drastic. So it is absolutely important, especially going forward. The CA exam has never been an easy exam. It's a very difficult exam. You need a lot of mental strength to deal with CA. As I said, it's not about how much you know, it's about how you hold your mind during those 3 hours. That is what makes you a CA. It's now you might have the entire book mugged up, or you might have you might have knowledge, you might have taught hundreds.
Term success.
Right. The most successful person I think I know of is Warren Buffett. And Warren Buffett has the 8-8-8 rule. 8 hours of rest, 8 hours of productivity, and 8 hours of miscellaneous. A human being cannot be productive for more than 8 hours. You cannot, people say I can study for 10, 12 hours. Nahi hota hai. You can productively study for only 8 hours. Real absorption will happen only for 8 hours. So beyond that, you're just sitting in front of the book, naam ke vaste. If that is what you want, no problem. But real productive studying will happen only for 8 hours. if you give your mind 8 hours of sleep, that 8 hours of studying will be fruitful. If you give your mind, if you give your body only 3 or 4 hours of sleep, the 8 or even 6 hours that you sit for studying will be absolutely useless. So please ensure that you're balancing sleep, rest with your studying time.
Wonderful, sir. Thank you very much, sir. It was, dear friends, it was C.S. Alvin Phillips Kohli for his insightful and power-packed sessions on mental fitness matter, simple habits for a strong mind. Now, with that, he also wishes you all the best for your next exams, and he has really shown us that beyond just crunching numbers is how we manage our mental balances in different areas of our life, and that brings into not studying as a kind of a routine, but it brings as a kind of an enthusiasm engagement. And hope this session will obviously generate a kind of a positivity, maybe a one person, so that one person growth is what we are daily by day will help to grow your spirit of learning. And this and we thank you on behalf of Run Series and my chairman, vice chairman, and board of studies for such a wonderful session. Thank you, sir, and we'll hope, sir, we'll be in touch with and we'll give you another opportunity to so that the future ready CA professions become more suitable to these kind of stress advancements and all the things which they require for their initial growth. Thank you very much, and sir, have a
Thank
good
you.
day.
Thank you. Namaste. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Technical support, please, sir, close the meeting.